Artist 3 has an inbuilt chase generator that can be applied to any fixture attribute, making it quick and easy to add dynamic motion to our cues. The chase generator uses individual fixture groups to define the set of fixtures that a particular chase will be applied to. As such, we can't use the chase generator to create a chase between fixtures across a number of fixture groups. To do this, we would need to manually create the desired chase using step scenes, which is something we'll cover in a later tutorial. For now though, we are going to use the chase generator to create some chases for our fixture group of 8 paths. The chase generator is accessed from the Chases tab of the fixture control window. In this grid, you will find listed all of the parameters for the fixture type we are using. As we're talking to paths, we only have one parameter, dimmer. We can activate the chase generator on this parameter by clicking the on button so it lights up red. As you can see along the top in the main window, and in the grid on the status window, we now have a very basic fading chase running across our 8 paths. Looking in the main window, notice how we have a green flag appear on each of the fixtures. This is the chase flag and indicates that a chase has been applied to this particular fixture. This is different to the parameter flags that we saw last time, as you'll see when we go to save the chase into a queue. If I now click New Queue, instead of the dimmer parameters for each fixture being listed in the tree, we have just one item, Chase Dimmer, being saved, which holds all of the settings for our chase. We can give the queue a name, Single Fade Chase, and press Save and Clear. If we now go to our queue list and activate the queue, you will see the chase running across our paths. So that's a very basic chase. We can now apply some modifiers to the chase generator to create something a bit more clever. Going back to the Chases tab and reactivating the chase generator on the dimmer parameter, we'll have a look at some of the options available. This section should look familiar from the queue control window we saw previously. The rate fader sets the speed at which the chase cycles through the steps when we're using the auto mode as the chase trigger. The higher the fader, the faster it goes. We then have the same division steps down the side to allow us slower chases. The red triangle works in the same way, switching the chase from a fade to a step. With the H button giving us a hold control. We also have a new button, BPM. This will set the chase to use the current beats per minute or BPM the artist is set to as the rate that the chase will run. The BPM can be detected automatically using a sound input, retrieved from a MIDI input, or set manually by unticking this box and using the up and down arrows, or by tapping the control key on your PC keyboard in time with the music. The rate fader now becomes a multiplier. At X1 it will step on every beat. On X2 it will step on every half beat. On X4 it will step on every quarter beat. Conversely, on half it will step on every 2 beats. On a quarter it will step on every 4 beats. Level is pretty self-explanatory. It sets the level the chase will output at, as can be seen in the output window. The count control lets us set how many times the last fixture in the group will output before the chase automatically deactivates. When the chase direction is set to forwards or backwards, this obviously means the number of times the chase will complete before automatically deactivating. But be aware that when the direction is set to something like random or audio triggered, the results can be unpredictable. If the count is set to 0, the chase will run continuously until its calling cue or scene are deactivated. Beneath this is the soft start button. If this is on when the chase starts, The first step will be all the parameters at 0, with the first fixture's output being the second step. This means that if you have your chase set with a ramp fade, the chase will softly fade in to begin. If the soft start button is off, the first step of the chase will be the first fixture snapping to output, with any fade settings being applied thereafter. Next to the count we have the matrix selector. This allows us to split our fixtures into smaller groups to apply the chases to. In our example, an 8x1 will give us one 8-channel chase. If we change it to 4x2, we now have two 4-channel chases running. Do notice that if you select an option which is not wholly divisible by the number of fixtures you have, for example 3x3, the remaining fixtures will be left out of the chase, as can be seen. The flip button changes the direction the matrix is applied to. Looking to the grid, we have some options to set the ramp of our chase. This sets the curve law that the chase uses when set to fading. We have the options of linear, sine 1, sine 2, parabola and inverse parabola. These are particularly useful when working with tungsten halogen lamps that themselves have a warm-up cool-down time, but it can be used to help vary the effect of chases on a variety of parameters. Experimentation is the key. Trigger lets us specify what is going to be used to determine when to progress to the next step of the chase. I won't go into full details on each of these as we'll cover them later, but briefly, Auto uses the rate controls we just looked at to step the chase at uniform intervals. The manual option lets us use system commands or the PC's shift key to manually step through the chases. The audio options, which are bass through to accent decay, use different filters applied to the PC's audio input to step the chase in time to the music. This is different to BPM rate because the chase will not necessarily step through with uniform timing. The difference between standard and decay options is that decay uses the fade time set by the rate fader to fade out the step after it has been triggered, giving a saw effect. Finally, the flags triggers offer a very powerful method of sequencing using event flags which are set by system commands. Again, this is something we'll cover separately. The next column lets us change the direction that the chase will run in. By default it is set to forwards, but with the option to reverse it so it runs backwards. We can also set the chase to step randomly, to bounce, or to use the audio triggers to switch the direction. We can also use system command flags to change the direction as desired. Finally, we have the pattern type. This lets us choose the kind of chase that we want to apply. We have the options of chase, which is a standard step chase, cascade, which is a build-up breakdown pattern, unison, all flashing simultaneously, alternate, chasing between odd and even, dark chase, or inverted chase, which means that all the outputs are normally on and the chase step switches them off, block chase, which uses the size selected in the matrix to create a chase block size which is then sequenced, and finally in and out, which runs two opposing chases across the fixtures, effectively bouncing from the outer ones to the middle ones. The injector number allows us to specify how many fixtures are on during a step. An injector of 1 means just a single fixture, an injector of 2 means 2 fixtures, and so on. When we've set the chases up as required, we simply save it to a queue as normal, and all of the settings will be stored ready for recall when the queue is activated.